So you know how to sew. Lucky you, you get to help in this cause even more and help us sew these things. It's actually so easy, and cutting it, once you've done that, that's the worst part. So we're gonna use a Lockstitch machine, which is a regular machine. You have a home machine, it's perfect. I have given 1/4 inch seam allowances around the whole pattern. So as long as you know what that means, you should be fine. What that means is on your plate of your machine, you see all these increments. That is designating the seam allowance. And that's where you place the edge of the fabric on, and that's your guide for when you're sewing. You want to make sure that that edge of that fabric stays on that guideline the entire time that you're sewing, so that you make sure you're staying along with the dimensions of the pattern. So it's fairly simple. You have 4 pieces, right? They each go together, so 2 separate. So if you have a face to your fabric, meaning like, is there a pattern on one side and not on the other? To be honest, I don't really think it matters at this point. It's not beauty. This isn't fashion, people. This is desperation. So either way, if you have a face, you want to put your faces together. So correct facing together, make a little sandwich so that your wrong faces are out facing outward. So you just line them up, and this is why it's really important to cut correctly, because you want to make sure that the pattern pieces just line up perfectly, so that your seam allowance is correct. So let's sew this baby. 1/4 inch seam allowance. So first thing we're going to sew is the center seam. First one, make sure you backstitch. And just keep those edges together. Make sure you're staying on the seam allowance back edge, okay? Sew around this second edge, 1/4 inch, making sure that you're staying there. Backstitch, pull, okay. All right, so now you're gonna open up your pieces and see how there's a nice seam on this edge. There's the raw edges are on the one side, and then the clean seam is on the inside. So you want to put clean seam to clean seam, and you might need some pins for this. So first thing I would say is line up your center seams and just put a pin and hold them in place. And then you're going to do that for the bottom as well. Give it a little tug. Another quick trick is make sure your seams are going in opposite directions, meaning like I put this one towards the right, and then the back edge I put to the left. It's going to make it easier later. Realistically, if we had a lot of time, I'd be pressing these seams, but they just need them to work. It's not going to be very, very pretty. So then we're going to sew along the bottom edge and the top edge, okay? Okay, so bottom edge, again, 1/4 inch back tack, take out your pins. So I did my top edge, now I'm going to do my bottom edge. Okay. Alright, so now we have it. Now you can turn it inside out. Okay. And something we're going to do to make it sit a little nicer is we're going to do, it's called a raised edge stitch. Again, if we had time, you would want to press this. because it's gonna bubble. But if you just make sure you just really run your finger along the inside of the seam, just try and flatten it as much as you can. And then we're gonna do a stitch. It's rolling, which again, if you pressed it, it wouldn't do that. But this is what we're gonna do. So just try and lay it as flat as you can. And you don't have to do a 1/4 inch. You're gonna do an 1/8 of an inch. And how I measure that is the raw edge of my fabric is going into the midpoint of my presser foot. It's a lot, I'm telling you, it's so much harder if you don't press it. But you can get by as long as you're giving some tension to it. Just be careful because it could mess it up. But see how like you want to just pull on it and make sure that it's a nice flat edge. And that, you can see it definitely gave it more shape. So look at that edge versus this lower edge. It's bubbling, it's rolling down here, it's now staying nice and flat. Okay, so we're gonna do the other side. Top and bottom edge, again, 1/8 of an inch, just so the inside of the edge of the raw edge of the fabric is at the midpoint of my presser foot. Go in there and just make sure you're laying it flat, giving it some tension. Okay, so we did that. Now, you're probably asking, well, how the hell do they attach it on their face? Well, I saw that you can use hair ties. So that's what we're gonna use. So you just put the hair tie on, and then we're just going to, and we're gonna do a couple tests on these to see if this actually is the best. So you put the hair tie on, and then you just stitch it down. You're not stitching the actual hair tie, you're just stitching the pocket. You see, like I pull the hair tie, you just roll it over like that. And again, I don't know if this is gonna be the best thing for them to use at this point. I might be changing this, but this is what we're gonna test out first because it's gonna be the easiest to deploy. I do have elastic, but I think that this is a good alternative for right now. Normally I would say you need to make sure that your raw edge is taken care of, but these healthcare workers are just using this for as a shield. This is probably going to be used one time to protect them during surgery, to protect those N95 masks that are just on such shortage right now. From what I'm hearing, they're just looking to protect those masks, so they're going to wear these over. Doesn't look so bad. There we go. It actually works pretty good, and I got some breathability. They'll still be able to wear those other masks under them. To be honest, I feel like ties would be best, but I'm gonna test these out. I'm gonna see how, I'm gonna give a bunch to my sister-in-law who works in Philly, dropping them off to her house. So I'm gonna let her tell me what she likes. So, it fits pretty nice. This is a medium. I feel like, to be honest, guys, let's not even make the smalls. I don't know. I'm gonna make a small. I'm gonna see if that fits me better. Problem is that it's pulling on my ear like this, which isn't great. But it's better than nothing. I just feel like I would like a tie better. But it works. It does. So that's it, guys. that's how we're doing it for now. So stay tuned for any updates. If I get any more, I do have elastic, but I just think that I'm gonna make a couple I'm gonna send with her and I'll tell you how it works, okay? So, thank you. We're all in it together. Thanks for helping.